Okay guys, apologies if you're kind of getting sick of Infinity War videos, but here's another one, sorry. Ooh, welcome back guys, it's Geek here. Yes, another video about Infinity War, but it is kind of a big deal, so, you know, cut me some slack and everyone else that's making them. This one's going to be loads of spoilers, so if you watched my fairly spoiler-free review of it, this isn't like that. I'm just going to be talking about the things that happened, specifically who died and who's going to come back, that kind of thing. So of course spoilers, but I'm kind of assuming you've watched it by now if you're going to watch this video, or you don't care about the spoilers. So let's just have a little bit of a chat. Okay, yeah, so who dies? Well, before we just say who dies, I'll do a recap of what happened. So, Thanos, he was born on Titan. Now, in the MCU, Titan is a distant planet. In the comics, it's the real named moon of Saturn, but of course, the universe is huge, so it wouldn't make much sense in this day and age saying it was happening just off of Saturn, which is why it's a planet far away. And he had an idea to save his planet from catastrophe, because there was too many people, that kind of thing. He suggested that, look, let's indiscriminately just kill off 50% of the population. You know, rich, poor, young, old, doesn't matter. We'll just, you know, because that's fair, right? We'll just kill off 50% of the planet. And of course, that didn't go down too well. Oh, and it's actually worth mentioning, I don't recall seeing an image of another Titan at all. But in the comics, at least, Thanos is a big, deformed, purple brute of a Titan. That's not usually what they look like. They usually look like, or at least the Titanian Eternals look like us, really. So he's kind of like an outcast already and a bit sort of bullied for that anyway. So all that's already going on. He's already a bit of an outcast. He has this idea about killing 50% of people. They label him the Mad Titan. They don't want to do it. But he was right. His planet does basically die. And it's at this point he becomes hell-bent on saving the universe by killing off 50% of sentient life. He's insane, but that's his goal. Now in the comics he's doing it because he's trying to impress Mistress Death. She believes there's an imbalance in the universe between living and dead things, and so she wants half of living things to be instantly killed. He's trying to impress her because he's in love with her, so that's why he's doing it in the comics, but essentially the end game is the same. 50% of sentient life, he's trying to wipe it out. Now you do see some backstory in the movie of Thanos going from planet to planet, killing off 50% of the people. Of course that's very difficult to do, it's not very efficient at all, which is why he thinks actually a better way of doing this is getting the gauntlet made by the dwarfs, getting the Infinity Stones, which I know are around here somewhere, and then just doing that. So Thanos is mad, he has a goal of killing off 50% of the universe, and so he wants to get the gauntlet. So he starts going to get the stones. He's getting the help from the Black Order. He was trying to do it like in a slower pace beforehand with like Loki and things like that, but he's given up doing that because they're just useless. He's going to do it himself.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
So he goes to Xandar, and that's where the Nova Corps are. They're the ones protecting the Power Stone currently. And he gets the Power Stone from them. Now it's a shame because you don't actually see the scene of this happening, but it sounds like he basically decimates the planet. I don't know if he kills all of them or just 50% of them. Presumably he definitely kills some of the Nova Corps to get the Power Stone. Maybe at least one of them makes it out. I don't know. So then he goes and gets the Space Stone. Now this is on the Asgardian escape vessel. It's mostly for the civilians. They escape from Ragnarok, which is happening on Asgard, and that was at the end of Thor Ragnarok. It's on there because Loki has it. So they go there, and I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds like he just kills half the Asgardians. Now if that's the case, I don't know how they survived, how they escaped from the ship, because the ship gets blown up, where they are, but you know, for argument's sake, perhaps they and the likes of Korg and Valkyrie are still alive somehow. But anyway, there's a bit of a tussle going on. Heimdall sends down via the Bifrost the Hulk, Bruce Banner, to Doctor Strange. Now this is taken from the Infinity Gauntlet comic where Silver Surfer crashes at Doctor Strange's to warn of Thanos coming. This time it's Bruce Banner. Now because he does this, Thanos isn't very happy. Now Thanos isn't really scared of anyone, so he doesn't go out of his way to kill people. He's not really that bothered. They're kind of like the buzzing of flies to him in a way.
You're like the buzzing of flies to him!
So he was just going to probably leave Heimdall there, but because Heimdall does that, he goes up to him and kills him. Yep, Heimdall's dead. Like, properly dead. And then Loki tries to stop Thanos after giving him the Space Stone, and unfortunately, Loki dies as well. Yep, he's dead. He snaps his neck, basically. And then they leave. Thor sort of like chained up with all this metal. He's on the ship. Thanos uses the Power Stone to blow the ship up as he teleports out using the Space Stone with the Black Order. They leave him there to blow up, but Thor does survive this. I think kind of Thanos missed a trick here, really. I think he should have killed off Thor when he had the chance, but he clearly just thinks it's not really much of an issue. He beat him up, he's not scared of him, so he's just, just doesn't care. So I guess that's why that didn't happen. And then he gets the rest of the stones. Now, the Time Stone is given to him by Doctor Strange to spare Tony Stark's life. This may well actually be part of a master plan, but I might talk about that in a different video. Oh, and he gets the Reality Stone, or the Aether, from the Collector, but there's no way of knowing if the Collector's alive or not, because you don't actually see that happen, you just see a fake version of it. He sacrifices Gamora to get the Soul Stone. Yes, Gamora is dead, and he kills Vision to get the Mind Stone. Now, Vision dies twice, which is a bit brutal. The first time, Scarlet Witch destroys the Mind Stone to stop Thanos getting it, and that kills him, of course, but then Thanos uses the Time Stone to reverse time in that particular location, bringing Vision back and the Mind Stone, and plucks out of his head and basically rips his brain out. So Vision's dead as well. Now, when he does use the Time Stone, it kind of looks like there is a limit to it. Like, I don't think if Thanos gone somewhere else for a long time that he'd be able to still bring Vision back. I kind of think it has to be there and then, like not too long time passes before that you can bring him back, because he seems to sort of struggle with it. But it could just be that he's not used to using it and he's not completed the gauntlet at that point, so he's not omnipotent yet, so maybe that's why. And then Thor comes back and he's got the Stormbreaker, and he delivers what looks to be a devastating and killing blow to Thanos, but Thanos manages to still snap his fingers and imagines and wills half of sentient life in the universe to just cease to exist. So people start disintegrating, they just start turning to dust. He then teleports away and relaxes because his task is finished. Whether he will survive that big blow to his chest, I don't know. He's still got the gauntlet, but it and his arm is kind of all like fried up from using it to do such a big task, but the stones are all still there, so he's got the stones currently. So who else is dead? Basically, there seems to be two types of dead here. The first is the ones that are actually killed off during the movie, which I've just mentioned, like Heimdall, Loki, Gamora, Vision. And then there's the disintegrated, cease to exist type of dead, which is 50% of the universe. Now, I'm not going to list every single superhero that died via the latter, via disintegration, but they include Star-Lord, Groot, Drax, Mantis, Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange. But we know that they will most likely all have sequels. I mean, for sure, we know that there's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Spider-Man sequels, so we know they'll come back. It's safe to assume that all the people that snapped out of existence will come back. They'll somehow undo that and bring them back. I mean, it just has to be undone. There's trillions of deaths because of it, so they'll find a way. They'll either get the current gauntlet, which is a bit smashed up, or a new gauntlet, or some other way of wielding all the stones at once, and they'll undo what Thanos did. I actually think it'd be better if the randomly killed superheroes are ones that don't already have known sequels, because then you won't know for sure if they're coming back, if that makes sense. But the way it's happened, we know that they will be coming back. I think it's worth mentioning that Steve Rogers and Tony Stark are both fine. They didn't either get killed by Thanos or anyone else, or they weren't disintegrated either, so they will definitely be in part 2. Whether they both survive that, I don't know, but we'll do a video on that another time. So the ones that most likely won't come back because they were properly killed off are Heimdall, Loki, Gamora and Vision. Now, I'm saying they won't come back as the 50% of people that were disappeared, out of existence. They may still come back, there may be some time travel to fix everything, they might just, undo it all, and then because they've got the power to undo it all, why not add a few more names to that list of who to bring back? So they might just have the power to bring them back. Personally, I think that's a bit of a stretch. I kind of think the people who are killed off will stay dead. I don't want to have a gauntlet or powers of a gauntlet which are just anything can happen. I kind of hope they only bring back the people who are snapped out of existence because the gauntlet did that. If it brings back everyone else as well, it's just a bit of a cop-out. But, it might happen. I mean, I just think it should have some limits. I mean, gods have limits, so hope there's a limit to what can be done. So I do think these characters are properly dead, at least as it stands. But there's always an exception as to how they could come back, so let's talk about that. Now, first of all, I can't think of one for Heimdall, so I think Heimdall is properly dead. I think he's completely gone forever. Vision could arguably come back if you put the Mind Stone back into him, but because his sort of brain was taken out, I don't see how they could boot him up again, so I kind of think Vision's gone as well, at least the Vision we knew. Now, Loki's been dead a few times, so it could have been a trick, but again, it doesn't seem like it was. I do think Loki is dead and won't be coming back. The one out of these that's currently properly dead that I do think will come back is Gamora. Now, we know there's a Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so surely she'll be in that, so I'm almost certain she will come back somehow. And it makes the most sense that she could come back, either by a huge undo or time travel, or, if that's not going to work for everyone, that only works for the people snapped out of existence, there is still a way Gamora can come back, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. And that is, if they go back to Vormir, where they got the Soul Stone from, they speak to the Wraith, Red Skull, and say, look, here's the Soul Stone, we're going to give it back to you, but in doing so, we want what was taken from us to get it, if that makes sense. So because there was a trade-off, Gamora's soul for the stone, in giving the stone back, we have Gamora's soul back. Or maybe Gamora's inside the stone, or the soul world of the stone, however you want to look at it, and that's where Adam Warlock used to chill out, so maybe they'll somehow manage to unleash her from there. So that could happen, that could explain it quite well. Now, whether they get her soul back and they need her body to put it in, or whether she just comes back physical, I don't know. But if they do need her body, then they better hurry up because it's gonna decompose soon. But yeah, other than Gamora and the disintegrated people, I don't think any of the other people are coming back that died in this movie. I think Heimdall, Loki, and Vision are all permadead. I mean, we'll probably see Loki and Vision in Avengers 4 because I think they have filmed for it, but this could be part of like a bath sequence or some time travel sequence. Doesn't necessarily mean they'll still be alive in the present when when everything's fixed and back to normal. I think they may still be permadead. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the characters a lot. I really like Loki, but part of me doesn't want them to come back. Part of me wants it to be that they really did die. It just makes the universe more serious. But we will see. Now, really, I need to do a video on the Soul Stone still, and maybe a video on what will happen next, possibly happen next in Avengers 4, but I think that'll do for now. I just wanted to talk a bit about the deaths in this movie. What do you guys think? Do you think they'll just bring back 50% of the people that disintegrated? Do you think everyone will come back? If so, how? Let me know. And don't forget, guys, you can still enter the giveaway to win this. Okay, that's enough. So look down there on how to do that. So guys, that's about to do it. Click like if you like that. Make sure you're subscribed for more videos like this, and I'll see you on the next video. And until then, remember, if you're like an android powered by an Infinity Stone, you probably should just stay in bed. Okay, bye.
Guys, if you're still here, you're awesome! But as you are still here, why not check out some of my other videos? Oh, and if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Laters, haters.